Hey, Shalom, Markins, Rakam, Kapashan, Jim, London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Chakodash. When I give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom, I'm out there to the hopeful that's preaching the truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video. I was wanting to go into the topic of, the spirit of enmity, okay, that's, been passed down through generations, man. Beginning all the way at, back with Adam and Eve, right? That the enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. And what that manifests, or how that manifested itself, um, throughout time, leading to today. Okay, what that really means, right? And you know, essentially, it's the battle between good and evil, right? Which is, this world is really locked in. We got the wicked are ruling the earth right now. Okay, as Joel 9:24 tells you, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? Evil, the wicked are the current rulers of this world, right? And we're waiting for the Lord Yahweh Shai, the King of Righteousness, right, to come and end this place, right? But this spirit of enmity, it goes way back, and ultimately is going to end with with these devils, these Edomites, okay, and the nation of Israel, okay, and in the form of our Lord, and these Edomites, right? Yahweh Shai is going to come and destroy the kingdom and establish his everlasting righteous kingdom, right? But how did we get here? How did we get to this moment, right? So we're gonna start from the beginning. Genesis chapter 3. I'm gonna start this from verse 13 here, right? And it says here, "In the Lord Yahweh said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat." Right? And the serpent was not an actual snake, okay, but a man in the garden, okay, who bestowed upon Eve this knowledge, okay, the knowledge of wickedness, essentially, of evil. And this opened her eyes, man, and made her realize some things, right? He said, "The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat." Right? It says, "And the Lord power said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle." Right? So the Lord put a curse upon this man, okay, who was likened unto a serpent, in terms of his characteristics, and that, he came in sneakily, okay. He didn't come to Adam, he come to his woman, right? He was more susceptible to his deceptions, you know, to his beguiling, okay. So that's a slivery, sneaky character, right? And this terminology is used elsewhere in the scriptures, man, in describing people, right? Especially the wicked, though, right? It says, "Thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and the dust thou shalt eat all the days of thy life." Right? So the Lord put a curse upon him, right? And he said this, "And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, okay, that would come forth of them." Right? Now, spiritually, the woman represents the nation of Israel ultimately, okay, which I'm going to wrap that up at the end, right? But I'm just going to make that statement for now. But I'm going to wrap it up at the end, right? Because this is what it translates into, right? And spiritually, the serpent seed represents the wicked, okay, that would come, into the earth, right? The progenitors of wickedness, right? Or that spiritual seed line, right? So it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel, right? So there's a spirit of enmity that's going to be passed on through generation, through generation to generation. This enmity is going to play out, right, and manifest itself, and be what's the word I'm looking for? Make an impact on the earth, man. Be significant in the earth, right? for lack of better words, man, you know, it plays an important part. And like I said, you know, it's just this whole battle of good and evil is kind of has started, right? And it's gonna play itself out through generation, you know, through generation to generation. And that is significant or important points I'm just gonna focus on, notable points, okay, and where that, you know, kind of manifested itself, and, you know, is the cause of why we're here today, locked in this battle, okay, between good and evil, and Esau and Jacob, okay. That's where it's gonna come down to, right? So from here, you know, little time goes by, and then we get the first manifestation of this enmity between seeds. Now, this is Genesis 4, next chapter, right? So, and Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain. Okay, Cain is the oldest, right? And said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, right? Spiritually, take notes of these things, right? Because you'll see that, you know, Cain was the eldest, so was Esau, right? Abel was a keeper of sheep. Israel was known, uh, you know, as keeper of sheep. We were shepherds, right? So spiritually, there's science, spiritual science there, you know, to connect, you know. But anyway, it says, and she bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground brought of the fruit of the ground offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of his firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. Right? Abel did things the right way. Okay, Cain did not. Okay, Cain has a problem with doing the right thing. Okay, and this spirit of Cain, or the spirit of the serpent, the seed of the serpent, is that's a trait that is going to be continuous. He has a problem with doing the right thing, right? And he gets very emotional, right? So, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. So he's pissed off, and he's cursing, right? And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? Right? If you do the right thing, then you know, would you not be accepted and be praised and whatever? Right? But because he did it wrong, well, of course, you're gonna get upshone, right? It says that if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Right? So Cain was so vexed, with the heavenly Father and with Abel for being righteous, just because he weren't righteous, he didn't do the righteous thing, that he went OTT with it, and went and did greater wickedness, greater evil, and slew his brother, you know. And like I said, this is like the first manifestation of the enmity between seeds, man. The evil and the good, the evil and the righteous, you know. And Cain rose up and slew Abel. Okay, he murdered his brother. All right. So that's one of the first notable events that took place from these enmity of seeds, in the spirit. Right. It manifested as these brothers. Right. Now, I'm gonna fast forward. Right. Flood happens. Okay. Everybody's destroyed pretty much, other than Noah, his sons, and their wives. All right. But spirits are never destroyed. Okay. Spirits always exist. Right. So all the spirits have to come back. So eventually, when the earth is populated again, all right, we have notable men like uh, Abraham and Isaac. Okay. And then we get another notable thing happen. Okay, or a resurrection of sorts of, reincarnation, right? Of these spirits. Okay, the good and the evil. Okay. Uh, so Genesis 25. I'm gonna read from 21, right? So these are the sons of Isaac now, right? And again, they were two brothers. Okay, they were twins this time around, right? Anyway, Genesis 25:22, and the children, 21, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, Two nations, right? Now, normally, they'd be one. Because they're the same, right? They're brothers of the same father, right? So originally, normally they would be one, but the Lord is saying, look, no, there's two. I'm gonna, these two are gonna be different, man. They're gonna be different from one another. They're gonna be separate from one another. All right, they're gonna become their own nations, okay? Because they differ in everything, in every aspect, pretty much, So two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people, two different types of people, two different characters, shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So whoever came out first was going to be, underneath the younger brother. All right. And yeah, they're going to be two different types of people. Okay, one was going to be spiritual, more spiritual. The other one was going to be carnal. Again, these two seeds that that the enmity between them, they will be two different people, right? He goes on to say, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red. So this is the elder. Okay, Cain was the elder, right? The first came out red all over, like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Okay, so that spirit of the serpent has gone through into Cain, right? Now into Esau. Now Esau is a nation, so there's going to be a whole nation of these serpent seeds, right? These devils, okay, of the wicked. This is why they're known. Esau is known as the seed of the wicked. All right, the boldness of wickedness, right? That's Esau. Okay, there's a whole nation full of these guys. Just like there's going to be a whole nation full of the righteous. Okay, in Jacob. All right. Anyways, and after that came out his brother out, Jacob, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Okay, Cain was a till of the ground before, right? And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents, right? And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint, right? Is tired, exhausted, right? From his hunt or whatever he was doing, right? And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom, which means red. Esau means wasted away, but Edom means red, right? It was uncooked, right? And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die. Okay, this was hypochondriac, right? And that overreacting. When they're at the point to die, right? And what profit shall this birthright do to me? So he had no regard of, the birthright he would have received, okay, from the Heavenly Father and his father, right? So he thought little of it. So he sold it off, right? Because again, he's not spiritual. It's the same way Cain, he was not spiritual, man. He just thought, oh, it's all right. I'll just I'll offer up these fruits to the Heavenly Father, and he'd be happy with that. Okay, it wasn't what was right. It wasn't the right thing to do. All right. Neither was eating this red pottage. Okay, that hadn't finished being cooked yet, you know. So Jacob said, "Swear to me this day," and he swore unto Jacob, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Right, so Esau sold it. Jacob never stole it. Jacob never took it. Okay, Esau sold it. He gave it off. Right. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. That's what he did. He despised his birthright. Right. So from this chapter here, it said, you know, these children were struggling and warring, fighting inside the room. Okay, showing you the enmity between the seeds. Right. So we're gonna jump forward into 27. Right. And we're gonna read. I'm gonna skip this. So Jacob received the blessing of his father, and Esau, you know, he got second prize, right? And he weren't happy with that, right? He weren't happy with the second prize. Oh, I should have mentioned actually, back in Genesis 4, the Lord also cursed Cain. He cursed the serpent, right? Remember? Okay, and he also cursed Cain. And let me go back and get that actually before I carry on, because that's an important point too. Let's see. Genesis 4. And verse 10, right? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand, because it was a transgression. Okay, the Most High didn't, you know, don't like murder, right? When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee your strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out from the, by the way, a fugitive is someone who's you know, running from judgment. Because the Most High didn't put him to death there and then, even though, you know, typically that's what would have happened, you know. But the Lord gave him a greater judgment in the sense that he's gonna be unwanted in the earth. Essentially, man, people ain't gonna, you know, take kindly to him. People wanna run him out of places, man. There's a criminal, right? And the Most High put a mark upon him, right? It says, where is it? Verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. I mean, the Most High ain't paying, you know, ain't gonna be looking out for you, man. All right. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Okay, you're gonna be hated in the earth. All right. The Most High did this, right? And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold, right? So basically, the Lord gave him a type of hedge, gave him a hedge, right? They wouldn't be slain from off the earth, because, you know, Cain and his seed had to fulfill certain things, okay? The same way Esau and his seed had to fulfill certain things. So, you know, you weren't just going to have them destroyed, because they had their part to play in prophecy. All right, so they had to be preserved at least for that, right? And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him, right? So he was made, you know, to stand out, and people were wary of him, right? They want to fuck around with him. It was under a curse, all right? This is all right. So that was that, right? So let me jump back to where I was with Esau now, because Esau bears the same curse. Well, he got cursed as well, right? Uh, um, Genesis 27 verse 41 says, did I read up? Let me read up, okay. I'm reading verse 39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Okay, this is what the second prize looked like for Esau, right? And by thy sword thou shalt live, thou shalt serve thy brother, right? So he was always destined to serve the brother, just like the prophecy said. The elder shall serve the younger, right? And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion. So he would get a time where he would be in power and would be in rulership, right? For a limited time. Thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing where his father blessed him, right? This hatred, the same hatred that Cain had towards his brother Abel for being righteous, you know? And this is how it's playing out now. Now things have been taken away from him, right? Cain and Esau were the eldest in both situations, man. But they were rejected essentially. All right. The righteous line carried through Seth, you know, Adam's third son, right? And in this case, Esau was put by the wayside, like the scriptures say, and Jacob was the one that inherited or was chosen to, be the chosen people. Esau was intended to be the children of the wicked, right? So because look at the thought pattern here, right? So Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, deep down in his soul, in his mind, he said this: "The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob." He was on that murder tip, man. He was on that Cain spirit, because that's what he had dwelling in him. That serpent spirit, man. That Cain spirit, okay, passed down in the spirit to him. That's what he inherited. Right? He inherited the spirit of the wicked. You know, he was gonna kill his brother over it, man, and he would have if it weren't for the fact Jacob was sent away. His mother sent him away. All right, so after these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Right? So he didn't get, Cain got Abel, but Esau wasn't able to get Jacob. Some diligence went on, and Jacob was sent away, right? Until Esau calmed down. But Esau's a carnal man, just like Cain was carnal. Okay, they inhabit the same spirit. Okay. And let's see. Let me grab this one quickly. All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Verse 7 says, then answered I and said, what shall be the part and asunder of times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Right? As I say, it's an age old, locked in battle between good and evil up until the very end, right? Which is going to, mark a different era, okay, when it's all over, right? And this battle is between Jacob and Esau, essentially, man, between good and evil, okay? And, our Lord Yahushua is going to resolve that fight, okay, when he comes with the mighty angels, right? Because he is of the tribe of Judah, okay, an Israelite, okay, of Jacob. Verse 7 says here, then answered I and said, what shall be the part and the son of times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world. Okay, so that was that dominion that he was going to have, right? That he was blessed with, right? Okay, that he lived by the sword. Okay. And like I said, that's attributable to the so-called white man today. That's how he's lived his life, in his rulership. That's how he's gotten the power and put himself in the position that he's in today is through the sword. All right. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay. And like I said, Esau and the so-called white man, okay, they have that curse upon them. Okay. Scripture speaks about Esau being the people of the Most High's curse, right? So his ultimate end is destruction. All right, but he also got that mark upon him, that leprosy. Okay, that makes him different from everybody else. His appearance. All right, they're all part of the curses that are upon him. Ezekiel 35 verse 5 says, "Because thou hast had a." Let me start from the top, right? Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, okay, which represents Esau, Edom. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know, that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Okay, this enmity just continues to go, even way after, Esau and Jacob, well into, their descendants. Okay, the enmity stays. Right? And it might not even be that they understand it. Esau don't maybe not even understand why he hates Jacob so much, why he hates so-called black people so much, right? They don't even understand. Right? It's just in their spirit. Because it's meant to be that way. It's the enmity of seeds, man. Between the serpent and the woman. Right? It continues to this very day. Alright? And I shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that the iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. If thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and in thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Right? This is because thou hast said that these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, because it did say, the promises did state that, he'd have dominion over his brother. So it is this point of time now where he's had us, man. But the problem is, we don't belong to him. We belong to the Lord. And you're trying to take us as part of your inheritance, like you're going to have us forever. Okay? Well, that ain't going to be the case. Right? So because thou hast said these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Now you're going to rule over us like you're the most high over us, man. So therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, because you lost out. You got second prize, right? Which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Okay, Esau's the end of the world. The Most High going to judge them and glorify his chosen Israel, Jacob. All right. So then, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. Right? Thus with your mouth you have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord power, when the whole earth rejoices, I will make thee desolate. And as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Okay, and that's that curse of Cain again manifesting, because they're going to be ultimately destroyed. All right, but they, like I said here, they had a perpetual hatred against us. Okay, that enmity continues. All right. All right, this is one of the last scriptures I've got here, right? Just move on, right? This is Revelation chapter 12. Well, here's one gonna wrap up the whole woman situation, you know, from back in Genesis, right? So actually, before I read that, let me grab this quickly. Jeremiah 2:6-2. It says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. Right? And we're gonna see the proof of that here. Right? So he talks about the woman's seed, which women don't have seed, you know, but what is representing is the nation of Israel that would come forth from, you know, the union between Adam and Eve, right? Eventually, you know, becoming Israel. Now, here's the evidence of that, you know, of what it's really speaking about in Revelation 12 here. And it speaks about here, reading from verse 6, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,203 days. Actually, where was, you know, up above that? Was it further down the point I wanted? Okay, I'll just read on from where I was. Right, okay. So, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought in his angels, right? And prevailed not, neither was their place found in heaven anymore, right? So this whole Esau being the end of the world for man is going to end with a great battle, right? Jacob and Esau are going to go at it, okay, in terms of the Lord, Yahushua, and the armies of heaven. You know, they're going to go at it with Esau, okay, and his angels, right? Esau in this scripture is being referenced as the dragon because he's the wicked, right? He's the serpent, okay, the old devil, which is going to go on to say, right? And prevailed not, neither was their place found in heaven anymore, meaning they're not, you know, weren't in rulership anymore. All right. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, okay, going back to the serpent seed, right? It's the same spirit. Okay, that same spirit is still lingering today in the children of Esau. Okay, beginning with these wicked elite. All right. So that old serpent called the devil, it's the old serpent, it's the same spirit, it's the old serpent. Okay, just here today, in like I said, in the midst of Esau. Right? It's called the devil, which means deceiver, and Satan, which means adversary, because Jacob and Esau are adversaries, right? Because of the enmity between the two seeds, the fact we was warring in Rebecca's womb, you know, like I said, it's also there, right? Which deceiveth the whole world. Esau deceiving the whole world right now, acting like he the chosen people, like he the righteous of the earth, when he's the wicked, right? He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay, all these, you know, all these generals, these armies and stuff. Okay, they were all cast out with him, man. Right? All these other elites, they, you know, all cast out, man. And and verse 10. So then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, Yahushai, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, okay, it shows you that Esau is the devil, right, is come down unto you having great wrath, great anger, because he's still angry. It never changed, because he knoweth that he have but a short time, because he was told that he would have a certain time to rule over his brother, but it would come to an end, because ultimately he's meant to be underneath his brother. His younger brother is meant to be ruling over him, and that's what's going to be at the end, right? So he's getting real mad now because his time is coming to an end. He don't want it to end. He don't want to be under his brother. He wants to rule over his brother. Okay, he wants to take that birthright back essentially, but he can't take it. It's not his, you know. So he's gonna come with great wrath, man, to try and keep what he's got. Okay, that's why you got this whole, you know, NWO agenda going on, because he wants to consolidate his power and reign forever in a you know, in a robot body or something. Right? So that when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. Right? The woman represents Israel. Okay? And this is jumping back a little bit, when what was it? 70 AD, right? And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. Actually, I have to double check that. Actually, scrap that for the moment, right? But the point I'm trying to get to here is that he persecuted the woman, he persecuted the Israelites, right? Which brought forth the man child, because the Lord came out of Israel, all right? So then to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the face of the serpent. All right. So yeah, like I said, I'm just getting on the point with the fact that Israel is being described as a woman. Okay. But like I said, this let me read on actually. Right. Verse 16. Sorry, 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away with the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Okay, which I believe is the armies, right? And he's sent it after us. We're going to send it after us as well, right? And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, the woman's seed, okay, which is Israel, right? Which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Okay, the elect of Israel. All right, so just wrapping that up, from Genesis 1 about the woman. Okay, this is how it's manifested itself. Okay, and this is the battle that's going on right now between Jacob and Esau. Okay, which obviously Esau is going to lose. Esau, the so-called white man, is going to be brought down from his heaven. Okay, his rulership, his dominion, right? And Jacob is going to be put up. Okay, our Lord Yahushua is going to establish his kingdom, and the Israelites are going to rule in that kingdom. Okay, fulfilling that prophecy back in Genesis 27. All right, but we know with that, I'm going to end it there. And hopefully this was edifying. And I'll catch you boys. This is on the next one. Till then, I say shalom.